Okay, chapter 1. The fun they had. Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary, on page headed 17 May 2157. She wrote, Tommy found a real book. It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen. You know, and then when they turned back on the page before it had the same words on it that it had when they read the first time. Gee, said Tommy, what a waste. When you when you threw with the book, you just threw it away, I guess. Our television screen must have had millions of books on it. And it feels good for plenty more. I would not throw them away. Same with mine, said Margie. She was 11 and had not seen many telebooks as Tommy, and he was 13. She said, When did you find it? In my house? He pointed without looking, because he was busy reading in the attic. What's it about? School. Maggie was scornful. School? What's there to write about school? I hate school. Margie always hated schools. But now she hated them even more because the mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography. She had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent a county inspector. He was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple, then took the teacher apart. Margie had hoped he would not know how to put it together again, but he knew how all right. After an hour or so, David was again large, black, and ugly, with a big screen on it. All the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. That wasn't so bad. The part Margie hated most was the slot where she had to put the homework and test paper. She always had to write them out in a punch code. They had made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no time. The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's head, and he said to her mother, It's not the little girl's fault, Mrs. Jones. I think the geography sector was graded too little quick. Geared it too little quick. Those things happen sometimes. I slowed it up to an average 10-year level. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory. And he patted Margie's head again. Margie was disappointed. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away together. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had completely banged out. So she said to Tommy, why would you, why would anyone write about school? Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes. Because it is not our kind of school, stupid. Sorry. This is the old kind of schools that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago. He added loftily, pro- pronouncing the words carefully centuries ago. Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know that kind of schools had all the time ago. They had all the time ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while and said, "Anyway, they had a teacher." Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher, it was a man. A man? How could a man be a teacher? Well, he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions. A man isn't smart enough. Sure he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. He knows almost as much, as much. I betcha. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. Sorry. She said, want to, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. Dominic screamed with laughter. You don't know much, Margie. The teachers didn't live in the house. They had a special building, and all the kids went there. All the kids learned the same thing. Sure, if they are the same age. But my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and each kid it has to be taught differently. Just the same, they didn't do it. They didn't do it that way. Then, if you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. I didn't say I didn't like it, Margie said quickly. She wanted to read about those funny schools. They weren't even half finished when Margie's mother called. Margie, school. Margie looked up. Not yet, Mama. Now, said Mrs. Jones. It's probably time for Tommy too. Margie said to Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? Maybe, he said non nonchalantly. I don't know how to pronounce this. Nonchalantly means not showing much interest or enthusiasm carelessly. He walked away, whistling the old book tucked beneath his arm. Margie went into the schoolroom. It was right next to her bedroom. The mechanical teacher was on waiting for her. It was always every it was always at the same time every day. Sorry guys for like to read like this. Except Saturdays and Sunday. Because her mother said little girls learn better than boys if they learned at regular hours. The screen was lit up and it said today's arithmetic lesson is, is on the addition of proper fractions. Please insert yesterday's homework in the paper slot. Margie did so with a sigh. She was talking about the old schools they had when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. All the kids from the whole neighborhood came laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the schoolroom, and going together at the end of the day. They learned the same things, so they could help everyone with this homework and talk about it. And the teachers were people. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen when we had fractions half by 1 upon 4. Margie was thinking about it. The kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had. So yes guys, this is the chapter, the fun they had. I said Esmo. Well, thank you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. I know this is a gaming channel and a study channel, both together. So guys, please subscribe. And yeah, subscribe to my main channel. Peace and God. Bye.